Now here is the Let's Stay Together show with Reverend Ricardo McCain and author Brenda McCain, helping you to rebuild your relationships with God.
Hey, welcome to the Let's Stay Together show. I'm your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, author Brenda McCain. Welcome to the Let's Stay Together show. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. You all ready over there?
I'm ready.
Let's see how ready y'all gonna be with all that talking y'all was doing beforehand. I'm gonna make sure, because if y'all ain't, I'm busting you out on national TV, so radio, whatever we are. So we gonna find out how ready y'all are. Go ahead and do your thing.
Okay. Well, welcome to the Let's Stay Together Talk radio show, where we learn the rhythms of all relationships. And to know our glory, you have to do what, babe?
You've got to know our backstory.
Yes. And tonight's topic is, I like them, but how many kids? What is your limit? Kids can be a great bonus to meeting someone new, and they can also be nightmares just as easily. When a man or a woman gets older, they may realize that the chances of meeting a childless woman or man thins dramatically, and the question of how many is too many may come to mind in dealing with a child that isn't theirs. The McCain Train would like to welcome our guests and dive right into the many challenges of dating someone with multiple children while single, divorced, or widowed. Leslie Holly is a licensed professional counselor who earned her master's in community counseling for DePaul University. She offers individual counseling to clients suffering from trauma, anxiety disorders, depression, post-baby issues, and substance abuse.
Post-baby issues, though?
Well, women have that.
Postpartum depression.
Okay,
Right.
help a brother out. That's all.
Okay, now.
Okay.
Then you have the Sir Walter Jones Show with Sir Walter Jones and co-host Alvin C. Carter.
My boys
which
are
is
here.
a Christian talk show. The show is edgy, how edgy, funny and transparent, tackling all the issues in the walk of believers. Then we have we should have a drum roll over there. You hear me? We should have a drum roll. I'm not sure he's paying attention, but we have no, he ain't paying no attention. We have Tracy Howard, a site manager for a Realty Management Company, producer, photographer, and single mother of 4 lovely daughters. She is the unconquerable Renaissance woman of the airwaves, speaking her mind and sharing her views. Since I pubbed you up, you really got to speak your mind and share your views. Now, if you want to know more about our guests, please visit our website at www.letsstaytogethertalkshow.com. And I'm going to shoot them with a scripture real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Psalm 127, 3-5 says, Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them. He shall not be put to shame when he speaks with his enemies in the gate. Show this mother the love of Christ so that she can too know the Lord. That's sweet, and that's very nicely well put.
Yeah, I guess. You know what? I just want to say this real quick. I got my boy here, Sir Reverend Walter, Evangelist Episcopalian over here, the man of the hour over here. Over here now.
That was supposed to be for Tracy.
We got him over here. And Chipmunk and Alvin and ain't over here. So I'm gonna talk about you, man, till you get over here. Chipmunk ain't here right now, and so we gonna go on. I mean, the subject that we came up with was very interesting subject. I like them, but how many kids? What's the limit? Because there's so many different diverse thought processes about this from the man and the woman's perspective. And so what we wanted to do was kind of talk about this. I hate when that thing is in front of me because I can't see nobody. But we wanted to kind of talk about this and dive into it, real quickly. So, my question is this, and I'm going to go to Sir Walter, first on that because, this is a man's world today.
Really?
Bro, Walter, let me ask you this, man. What is it about a woman that has multiple kids that seems to, in some cases, scare off a man?
Right, because they see all of the kids, and 2 things come to their mind. I think, me being a man, I kind of know.
I hear you. I hear you.
Me being a man, but I think one thing is they know that there are men behind those kids. Whether there's one man that reared those kids or several men that's responsible for donating his seed. to have these kids.
Yeah.
So the man has to deal with the baby, the daddy, in order to get to the woman. And then number two, he thinks about her mind. He wants to know if she's I don't know if I can use this word skank on there, but I already said it. Yeah.
It's been used before. I'm sure.
Okay,
on UBM.
Yeah,
so.
I'm sure. Up here it has. Up here, I couldn't say it downstairs, but up here I can say it. He looks at her in that light, and he began to kind of prejudge her by her children, and I think he prejudges her by how many children she do have. Because if she have one, she has an opportunity. But if she has maybe three or more, the opportunity of being a perfect match for him is shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah, and it's from a man's point of view as well. It's like when you look at multiple kids, and sometimes you might have multiple kids, and there may be multiple fathers,
right?
And then you've got to deal with you all call it the baby mama drama. We call it we call it the brother problem,
Sure.
Black man problem, you got to deal with, too many brothers that you got to deal with and in situations like that.
Not really.
And it can happen. I mean, unless of course you got, experience on that, you don't necessarily know it from a man's point of view. But, as a man, we will, you're concerned about that. Because one thing that I read about is that it's very difficult for a man to want to take care of another man's child. Now, women, before you get rolling your head and your eyes are rolling, like, I don't understand, all that, relax a little, because we ain't talking about all men, but there is that thought process that
you're right.
If I don't necessarily want to raise that other man's child. And then another thing we never think about too is that some men, when they have a woman that has multiple children, may not want to talk to them because they might be looking to have a child too.
That's right.
And if they have 1, 2, or 3, they're already saying, well, okay, is that person through, or can we have any kids, and how is that going to work? So, baby, I know you and Tracy got a couple of things y'all want to say over there. So, jump on in the bandwagon over here and say what you want to say. Take your halo off because it didn't fail about a couple of minutes ago.
Okay. Well, I want to piggyback on Sir Walter, but I'm not sure what your question was, but. If a woman is a skank and have multiple fathers, and I can understand a brother kind of being hesitant or trying to be with her, but in the same essence, if a woman is widowed and all her kids came from her husband, or she is divorced, and
those
all
are
her kids
circumstances. Those are circumstances.
Husband, she shouldn't be judged so harshly.
A lot of times he don't know
thing, say what now?
A lot of times he don't know that.
Well, if they're getting to know her, he didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I don't want everybody to think that all the black woman or women always have all these multiple kids. Those fathers be planting their seed around the universe. And a story I read, a young lady didn't even know. She was dating a guy for a year. Didn't even know he had children because they didn't live in the state with her. Until one time they was out on a date and an emergency happened.
Did she ask?
Yeah, he said he didn't have any.
Oh, okay.
But
so you lied. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You denying your seed. And then the thing that gets me with this is that when she did find out, she said, okay, he got one, I could deal with this. He had 5 children. So she had 5 children. So it came to the point of, okay, do I really like him? Do I want to deal with him? Because she was childless at the time, and she wanted children. So her thing is she dated him for a year, and she said, I can't do this because now all of a sudden the kids live in the state. They coming in. He talking child support. It was a big problem. So I said it worked both ways. Don't just make it seem like it's
nobody's saying it's just that it's only one way. We were talking from the man's perspective.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be.
So that's what it's doing. See, that's what I tell you, man. This is what I deal with. All the time. They fighting against me and stuff like that. That's the man's.
Waiting my turn.
Well, if you're gonna politely wait your turn, it's gonna be 9:01 when you start talking.
I was waiting because I'm about
what
to
you got to say, Tracy?
I was going to say I was politely waiting my turn because I am a woman single with 4 children.
Sure.
And as you say, men may look at me and say, oh, my gosh, she got all those kids and now grandkids. I might not want to be bothered with her because as my children were growing up, I did have that kind of problem. People did look at me as that woman with 4 kids. But I was that woman with 4 kids whose husband left her, divorced her, and left her with those 4 kids and moved on with his life while I had to deal with trying to date with 4 kids.
Well, that ain't my problem.
Exactly. It's not your problem. And I have not asked any men to raise my children because my last child just turned 19 years old, and I have done it by myself since she was 3 years old.
Okay, now here we go. Because Walter, we gonna have a fight over here, so you got to put your gloves on. We got to talk for every man and every woman here, but a woman sitting up there now saying that I can do things on my own. I can do things I don't need the man. I could do it myself. I mean, that's wonderful. That's great, and that's you commend the woman that's been able to take care of the responsibility. But when that man wants to come into that relationship, he doesn't necessarily want to hear that you could do it on your own, because obviously he can see that you've done it on your own. He wants to be able to feel that he's wanted. And so how do you deal with that prospect of a woman who's, has done it by herself, and that man wants to come in and she's like, oh, hey, I don't need you.
Well, I'm going to say this, too. Everybody's always heard me say I'm divorced and, I had to deal with being a single mother. But I do want to give kudos to my ex-husband, because I was a single mother when he met me of 1 child. And he had no problem jumping in, and he was daddy her entire life. So I have to respect him for doing that and not having any issues or any problems with it. And like you say, then later on having 3 more children. And I'm not sure if he wanted other children or not, but he had them, and he dealt with it. So even though we ended in divorce, I do always applaud and give him kudos for taking me and my daughter in and raising her as his own, because, like I say, he is daddy to all 4 of my children.
And that's good. I don't think that myself and McCain, speaking for all men, actually, and I'm going to say something that's kind of strange come out of men, but I think women who already have children, it's kind of attractive to me. The reason why it's attractive to me is because I have children too. And so to flip the script is I want to make sure that this woman could be a good mother to my own children, because I'm also divorced, okay? So I have 3. Now they're in their 20s, so they're up there, but still I want her to be a nurturing mother to my children. So when I see her with children, I want to be a good father to her children. Even if the father is still present in their lives, I know how to have balance. Because when I did marry, she had children. She had 4. And I became their father. I really didn't become a stepfather. I became a father to them. Okay, even though a couple of their fathers were in their lives, I still wanted to be that part of the. Because a lot of times these single mothers, they're raising these children in their homes, and a lot of times these children they turn out to be very successful. They become doctors and lawyers and record exec CEOs, you name it, very successful. All right, without the father being in the house. I've seen many of them. A lot of times, though, when they get of age, sometimes you recognize that something might be missing, because then it's hard for them to interact with other women because they didn't have the father there to show them some things, because a woman can't show a man everything. That's the purpose. That's why you have a man. That's the purpose why God made male and female.
Walter's been he's been the nice guy over here. So I'm meant to be the bad guy. So God forgive me for this. Nice. I've got to take the halo off for a second here and say, there are a lot of men that are not attracted to a woman when they have a child. It's just the woman is beautiful. They really like them, they want to be with them, and stuff like that. And then when they find out about that child, it automatically kind of turns them off. I myself was never, to be honest with you, I'll move the devil's advocate out of the way for a second. I never really concerned myself about the woman and her children. I dated someone that had 4 children. Sure. And, she was very nice. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the kids. I thought the kids were wonderful. But at that time, with 4 children and being a little bit younger, I did not know if I wanted to go to the next step and be the father or be in that relationship. So sometimes there are some conflicts that you might like the woman, but you're not necessarily sure if you want to go to the next level because of the situation of what you got to do with the children. And some men look at it in this aspect. If I'm making X amount of dollars and it's taking care of me, now you've got you and 2 other kids. then that means my money's got to go, toward taking care of them as well. And that responsibility can become some kind of, overwhelming to them. Mm-hmm. So, Leslie, I'm going to ask you this question. With that overwhelming sensation that a man has, is